Glad you're here. It's Cosmic 101 Talking Astrology. I'm going to be talking about Pluto in Aquarius in this video. Thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me at cosmic101@protonmail.com. And before we get into the video today, I am going to disclose that I heavily lean towards Hellenistic astrology techniques, methods, and practices. I do incorporate modern astrology. I am not averse to it or allergic to it. So I will be incorporating both in this video when I am talking about Pluto in Aquarius, both modern and ancient astrology. I also encourage interaction from the public regarding this video. Feel free to leave any comments in the comment section below about your ideas, concepts about Pluto in Aquarius. Your input is important. We're all on the planet together. We all have skin in the game, if you will. So don't be shy in regards to leaving any comments in the comments section below. Mind your P's and Q's. There's no need to be forceful or aggressive whilst expressing your opinion. If you are, you will simply be removed. So a heads up there. We are talking about a transit with Pluto in Aquarius, where there can be some very assertive ideas and concepts that people will be pushing and pushing against. And if you are impolite, that is why I am simply saying this, because there is very strong opinions. And without opinions and different ideas, without delegation, we don't come to an understanding. But if you are simply stamping your feet, throwing down an anvil, and it is impolite, it simply won't be tolerated on the Cosmic 101 YouTube channel. Pluto is a modern planet. It was discovered in 1930. Therefore, it is likened to being a generational planet. This is not discarding or removing the obvious before 1930 that Pluto was never around. It was simply discovered in that year. Therefore, before that, it wasn't recognized, if you will, in astrological practices. Whilst this concept may be surprising, it is a generational planet. It indicates a rebirth of sorts. It's heralding a tilling and a turning of the soil of the Aquarius qualities and characteristics moving forward. So it's like one door closing and another door opening with this transit of Pluto in Aquarius. So let's talk a bit about the planet Pluto. It has many words that it has been labeled with, and that is purely because of the time of the planet's discovery in the world. Pluto is described as cruel, violent, corrupt, punishing, erosion, decay, coldness, and death, exposing, revealing, purifying, power, and life-changing. So all the words that you've just heard before, the last two being life-changing, any interactions with those words would definitely indicate changing of the guards and changing one's experience. An erosive experience will change the form of something or within one person or many. So the idea and the concept of these very, very potent, penetrating words are hard to digest at times and come to terms with. We will naturally, as a humanity push back against erosion? And I am picking just one word out of the many that I just described about Pluto. Why would we push back against things that are eroding and disintegrating? Well, if we incorporate human nature and the time of the discovery of the planet Pluto in 1930, the natural erosion of a lifestyle in the 1930s was becoming very obvious. And sometimes erosion is a concept and a word that is hard to work with, because erosion is indicative of something not being sustainable. And whilst that is for some pleasurable, for others, it will be an unpleasant acknowledgement of something not being sustained. Pluto in Aquarius will be a fascinating transit for the next 20 years. And it's fascinating because the zodiac sign of Aquarius is a fascinating zodiac sign. It's the 11th out of the 12th signs of the zodiac. It is connected to the qualities of being a fixed zodiac sign. A fixed zodiac sign is a sign that can be lightly described as holding a line, not moving, stoic. That is fixed. Doesn't like it when you poke it. It has to come around of its own validity. A metaphor is a great way to possibly understand a fixed zodiac sign. You can lead a horse to water, yet you cannot make it drink. If you have never heard that metaphor, sit with this. You can show the way. You can make it very obvious that there is nourishment and replenishment available, but it's a foreign concept to do something different. It's hard to transmute, dilute, turn around to something different, something that may make it feel threatened. That is a fixed zodiac sign. The yang concept of the zodiac sign of Aquarius, yang signs are prone and have the qualities of life. There's light, there's movement, we can take action. There's energy connected to the yang word and the zodiac sign of Aquarius. So we are talking about the yang concept being of, for better words, aggressive, opposed to the yin concept being passive, receptive. Yang has more aggressive qualities. Now, take that word aggressive with a grain of salt when we're talking about the word yang. Aquarians can be aggressive, yet any zodiac sign can be aggressive. Anything can be aggressive. But the yang word for Aquarius, what's aggressive, is that fixed modality. The air component of the zodiac sign of Aquarius is the element of this sign. So the elementals are air, water, fire, and earth. And Aquarius is an air sign. It's attributed to wetness, being moist. So when we think about the words wetness and moist, we are talking about the element being almost clammy and watery. And you would be possibly sitting there thinking, hang on, wetness, moist, clammy, watery, Aquarius? Yes, it's all true. Air zodiac signs are intellectual, social signs of the zodiac. So the social moistness, wetness, fluidity that Aquarius incorporates and has those characteristics is helpful in understanding what the zodiac sign Aquarius is about. So we have a zodiac sign, in short, that is extremely complex. It gets more complex with the zodiac sign of Aquarius. Moving forward, we get more complexity and depth with the zodiac sign of Aquarius. From the ancient Hellenistic perspective, Aquarius is between two opposite concepts, light and dark. The dark concept is because Aquarius is situated after the zodiac sign of Capricorn, which is a winter zodiac sign in the tropical Western astrology construct. And the light is coming in the zodiac sign after Aquarius, being Pisces, closing out of the dark part of the sun's journey through the zodiac wheel along the ecliptic plane, which is the path of the sun, closing out that dark part of the sun cycle, and the light is coming when the sun enters the zodiac sign of Aries. So the complexities of this zodiac become quite profound, holding dark and light, holding that yang fixed air quality. If yang is associated to Aquarius, which is a fixed zodiac sign, we are now going into the depths of ruminating and hypothesizing about, well, how is yang moving or actually useful in a fixed zodiac sign? If a yang sign is aggressive, again, taking that word with a grain of salt, and it is about action and energy and moving towards something, being proactive, and you're putting it in a fixed zodiac sign, that is very difficult to change. Going back to the leading horse to water metaphor, and the air component, the element of the zodiac sign of Aquarius being social, fluid, wet and moist, intellectual, things become complex when we start to process and appreciate and respect the zodiac sign of Aquarius. So Aquarius can be likened to, if you will, or hypothesized as a zodiac sign that is whilst architecting the future, it's embodying and acknowledging and has awareness of the past. It is sitting on a delicate threshold, if you will. And the threshold, as far as astrologically speaking, for an Aquarius zodiac sign, is almost dangerous. Now, that is a very potent word. And the danger is something, if you will, that a fixed sign embodies, that feeling and that knowledge. The danger of going too far. The danger of going too far, and that concept is coming from the past, what has been before it. And this is getting very philosophical, but this is astrology. It is a philosophical divinatory tool, practice that is connected to archetypal images, deities, and gods. And ultimately, the astrology is connected to the seasons of the zodiac and the transit of the sun. So don't get sucked down a fixed, if you will, rabbit hole of saying, oh, this is wrong, this is right, blah, 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 blah. You get the concept. You can sit in the middle of the past and the present, and you can hold the tensions, and you can be open, intellectual, like air, and ruminate and navel gaze and decide for yourself, moving forward, what astrology is to you. I'm more adept and comfortable with going down the philosophical ancient history rabbit holes and incorporating both modern astrology as well. I'm extremely comfortable. Yet Aquarius, from my astrological perspective, would be, like most fixed zodiac signs, uncomfortable with the concept and metaphor of the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other. Whilst it is also a good metaphor to have leading a horse to water, you can't make a drink. It understands the future, but that comes from the past and things that weren't so great. They were old. And it's sitting on a delicate balancing pole. And the tipping of the scales are real in the zodiac sign of Aquarius. It understands, it has that intelligence of the concept of consequence. Yet that yang element of Aquarius, I find very contradicting, and this is why I would be very open in saying it would be hard to be Pluto in Aquarius. So this transit of Pluto in Aquarius moving forward, I think, will be a difficult task. And that is where we now lead into the planets and the temple that Pluto will be transiting through for the next 20 years. Pluto's hosts, if you will, is the planet Saturn, and that is the ancient planet connected to the zodiac sign of Aquarius. Whilst Uranus, when it was discovered, it is considered a modern planet. It was discovered later in our lifetime and therefore has a generational connotation to it. I am not getting into any debates about that. I am simply going from my astrological training that Uranus is also a modern planet, therefore generational. And boy, oh boy, do the astrological community like to get into arguments and debates. So Pluto's hosts are two planets, Saturn and Uranus, the modern planet, the generational planet. So Pluto will be transiting through the temple of Saturn and Uranus. So when any planet is in a zodiac sign, it is welcomed by a planet that is connected and has an affinity with. So Saturn is a planet that has a organic understanding and enjoyment of being in this zodiac sign. Whilst Uranus being a modern planet and a generational planet, because after the system of Hellenistic astrology, when these modern planets were discovered, astrologers didn't assign the ancient Hellenistic practicing astrologers found it very foreign and difficult to assign the modern planets to a particular zodiac sign. This is a modern astrological concept, Uranus being connected to the zodiac sign of Aquarius, and that is attributed to when the planet was discovered, just like when Pluto was discovered. So a temple is a home. It is a familiar place that the planets created. It's their place. So when Pluto is in this zodiac sign of Aquarius for the next 20 years, we as astrologers and astrology enthusiasts and students and practices of astrologers, we must consider where the hosts are through the next 20 years for Pluto. A planet that steps into a zodiac sign, if it's not its usual place, and Pluto was not assigned a particular zodiac sign, remembering the ancient techniques and the modern astrology concepts and techniques. So Pluto will be behaving like Saturn and Uranus. So wherever these two planets are moving forward, it is going to be having a knock-on ripple effect, if you will, of the transit of Pluto in Aquarius. So we have Pluto, which we have discussed the words connected to Pluto, behaving, if you will, like Saturn and Uranus. Now, Saturn, unfortunately, without research, has been glossed over in the magic and the mystical side of this planet that is vast and very majestic. It is a very complex planet within itself. Whilst Uranus is a planet that is complex within itself as well. Most planets do have a double sword edge to them. So when Pluto is behaving and being hosted like Saturn and Uranus in the zodiac sign of Aquarius, we have the most interesting transit moving forward for generations to come. So the task of Pluto ultimately is to get to the good stuff whilst removing the difficult, the distasteful. What is left after a Pluto transit is meant to be. It's diventry. It's a diventry, archetypal, philosophical understanding of what is still standing or still present whilst Pluto moves on into a different zodiac sign. In short, what is still present in the Capricorn part of your experience in your own natal chart? What is still standing? What has been transformed? What has been purified? Or what has not? That will be your own personal experience. So when we have Pluto doing its work, if you will, is going to be a complex one. If it is about all of those words in a Saturnian Uranian zodiac sign that is so complex like Aquarius, Pluto's job and task will be enormous. Can we change fixed air, thoughts, ideas, wetness, moistness, yang, aggression, forward movement, action, going to work, moving ahead? Can Pluto change all of these attributes and characteristics of the zodiac sign of Aquarius? Can Pluto change the fixed nature, the fear of past and future? Can Pluto change that? Is this the generation that can break barriers of fear, change, concepts, moistness, action and aggression? Can Pluto change it? We're in the thick of it. Most Plutonian transits and the result of them are not witnessed until the end of the transit. You can disagree, you can agree. This is my astrological view. Seeing results and the changes come once something is over, like a medical procedure. Someone comes in and gives you the results. How did it go? This is what happened. And a medical procedure is to remove something from the past, something that is foreign, something that is not working, very Plutonian. And what is left? What is the outcome? It is not known until we have a recovery period. So the recovery period will come whilst Pluto transits in the zodiac sign of Pisces. But can Pluto do it? Well, Pluto is the farthest planet from our geocentric perspective, Earth's perspective. It packs a punch. It certainly does. And Pluto can also be described as the ghost in the room. You cannot see it. It can be described as an iceberg. You can see the beauty of the ice formation above the water. We don't see the complex nature and design and how it works and what's going on beneath the surface. So Pluto's stepping into the temple of Saturn and Uranus for 20 years in the zodiac sign of Aquarius, embodying the past and the future. And Pluto has a task, and it is a big one at that. So Aquarius is the back and forward, the past, the future. What works, what doesn't? Where are we at? Where are we going moving forward? So now moving forward in this part of the video, I am going to be talking about my personal perceptions, very Aquarian, about Pluto and its transit for the next 20 years and what we all may potentially experience. Of course, knowing your own natal chart will be helpful. Absolutely. So let's just talk about Pluto in Aquarius now, moving forward. I've given you plenty of foundations regarding understanding the zodiac sign of Aquarius. I have given you Saturn and Uranus. I haven't gone into excruciating detail, but Saturn and Uranus are controlling the Pluto transit in Aquarius for 20 years. These are the planets we must watch where they're transiting, what zodiac signs they're in, the nature of the zodiac, what dignity they're in, the significations of the houses, etc. But moving forward, Pluto in Aquarius will be a very, very complex transit. The complexity is obvious, but what does this mean for humanity as a whole and our world moving forward? Well, the tension and the stoic nature of the zodiac sign of Aquarius will be changed. And the change will be gradual. And this indicates a plethora of subjects to discuss regarding humanity moving forward of the Pluto in Aquarius transit. Travel, how we travel, modes of transport will be highlighted and transformed and retweaked and very much prominent in our media. I also liken this transit to be connected to water. Bodies of water will be very prominent on the world stage and in the media. I also can appreciate and hypothesize that civilizations from the past, architecture, archaeology will be prominent on the world stage moving forward. The discoveries of old ways of utilizing energy from the past. This indicates to me incorporating respect and taking very lived learned experiences from Indigenous peoples will be incorporated in our future moving forward, connected to modes of transport, travel, the seas, bodies of water, and intelligence from Indigenous people moving forward will be incorporated in the world and the structures of it, and how we can intelligently use energy and the seasons of our natural planet, the natural seasons. I can also hypothesize that with the transit of Pluto in Aquarius, the corruption, if you will, of taking too much aggressive action and it leaving egg on our faces in regards to the future and just how far we can go. I liken this to failed space exploration. I also liken this to failed electric systems and electricity and the failing of water on our planet. With Pluto in Aquarius connected to education, which is knowledge from the past looking to the future, education will be transformed and changed forever. This incorporates how we go into the history books and what we've learnt to date and how we educate the future moving forward with youth. Education will be very much changed with this transit, and the corruptness of sticking to a learned system. I also have a strong feeling with Pluto in Aquarius that we are going to be looking towards the concept and ideology of liberation and freedom a lot closer, and what that means to humanity as a whole. Should we be sitting in a room now listening to a podcast of our own free will? Is that not freedom? Is that not liberating? Taking on an idea and a concept and an ideology, listening to another's ideas or concepts about such things as humanity and what astrology is. Is that not freedom and liberation? These two words, I think, will be transformed, and possibly the corruption of the concept of freedom and liberation moving forward. Now, the future, the word future connected to Aquarius is a very interesting one to me. Again, this is very philosophical, archetypal speech that I'm talking here. I need a drink of water. Speaking of moist and wet. There's a lot to contemplate. There's a lot. Medical science will go through big leaps and bounds, and this will be certainly prominent in the media. Health will be up for grabs as well, because health is connected to medical procedures and practices. Such things as herbalism, working with the earth, magic mushrooms, psychedelics, drugs is up for grabs with this transit, from my perspective also, with Pluto in Aquarius. The fear of psychedelics and new medications for humanity will be a subject that will be explored. And then we get those Plutonian words of corruption and power, and you connect that to the medical system, the pharmaceutical system. This is where it's going to become very obvious that the planet that we inhabit, and if we are incorporating indigenous practices, methods, and ideologies about our world, it is only natural that we shall seek out indigenous, foreign, old ways, methods, techniques, and practices of medicine for humanity. The earth has provided us with oxygen, plant systems, etc., to survive. Yet with corporations, the medical system, and the pharmaceutical companies will naturally push back against herbal natural remedies. So Pluto will be helpful for breaking barriers and being more futuristic. So just back to that word, future. I did digress. I did get sidetracked. The word future. Now, to some, and this is where it becomes very individual, very Aquarian, ideas, ideologies, concepts, past versus future. The future is unknown. It is foreign. It is explorable. It is out of this world. What on earth is the future? It's not here. So how do we get to it? How do we get to the future? So if you sit with this philosophy and concept, how do we get to the future? So the concept of time will be transformed with Pluto in Aquarius as well. How do we get to the past? We get deeper now. We get to the past with therapy. We get to the past with intellectual conversation information. We get to the past with books and past education, looking at architecture, looking at Indigenous peoples, how things were. That's how we get to the past. Do we physically get to the past? This concept will be up for grabs also with Pluto in Aquarius, and the possibilities are ripe of physically going back to the past. Oh, that's such a foreign concept, is it not? How can I physically go back? With medicines and things changing on the planet, why not go back to the past? How can we not go back and rewind time? It brings me back to the medical side of things, which is beauty, aesthetics, reversing the time on a human's body with medical procedures, beauty creams. You get the picture. Anything goes. The more foreign and whimsical the concepts and the radical changes of we're going back to the past physically, is absurd to some. Can you open your mind? Can you be air, social, flexible, fluid? Expand that brain that we, correct me if I'm wrong, I think, are we at like 10% usage of our human brains? And it's 90% to go? Pluto in Aquarius can blow our minds if we let it. But can that fear-fixed part of Aquarius allow it? Holding that tension. Can it? Well, that's where Pluto comes in. To reveal the invisible. To reveal things that are incomprehensible. This transit will be fascinating. So for humanity, it's life-changing, therefore generational. This generation, if you will, that are incarnated on our gorgeous planet at the time between 2024 to 2044 are the protagonists and instigators, the light workers, the earth healers of the radical, the unthinkable, the incomprehensible, and potentially making things appear relatable and life-changing. How wonderful. How wonderful. If you have been an astrology enthusiast or not even into astrology and you're just a human, you think, oh, this world needs to change. This is why we have new people coming into our gorgeous planet. The babies arrive and they have a Uranian, Saturnian, Plutonian concepts. They embody the complexities of those planets in the zodiac sign of Aquarius, and they break sound and light barriers. They can. And what we can do to be an integral part of it is open up our own minds. Be part of the change we want to see. We've all got skin in the game. So let's do it. Let's do it. The concept of a telephone was incredible. The concept of seeing someone while you're talking on a telephone was ridiculous. It is here. You are sitting on some part of our beautiful planet right now, and you are thousands potentially of miles away from me. Who'd have thought that this was possible? So humanity and individually, wow, we're in for such a ride, and I can't wait. I am a very half glass full person, yet as an older inhabitant of the planet Earth, I too hold the knowledge of the past versus the future and the delicate balance and the respect needed to make very intelligent decisions moving forward. So it's exciting times. We're all in this, and I am so grateful today that you have spent your time with me. I hope I have given you something to chew over and stew over. And I so look forward to learning from past Indigenous people about medicine and healing, about the concept of time, about the concept of traveling, about the concept of water, medical stuff. What we can do with it is incredible. Why not? But holding that stoic fixed ways is all connected to fear. So we will be also potentially seeing the zodiac signs and the attributes of the zodiac signs changing as well. I think astrology, the subject of astrology, will be very prominent. It's an ancient philosophy and system. It will be factored into the next 20 years heavily. Absolutely. Astrology will be going through some profound changes, as well as esotericism, anything oracle or divinatory, magic, all up for grabs. So I'm going to leave the video there. That is my individual perception of the transit of Pluto in Aquarius. So tell me, people, what is yours? I'm Cosmic Girl 101 signing off. And remember, stay cosmic.